Oh god. Right, so it's 15 in the drivers and what, 46 in constructors? So it's a maximum of so it's 11 points that Joe needs. And Joe also needs, there's 11 for constructors and 17, maybe 18 to win drivers. You see, where's Joe? Joe's in a horse. Where's Alu? Alu's not even in yet. Can Stell still win this? Okay. No, he can't. No, he can't. So it's Joe versus Alu. Is Staber gonna drive today? I need to find out whether or not Staber's driving. Stell is, but Stell doesn't matter in this for the title. Alu is, so there's the fight that's actually going to happen. I don't think Staber is. No, Staber's not racing, so it is a case of Alu has to outscore Joe by 17. Well, 18. In other words, whoever I say at the end of the day wins the championship also wins constructors. Or a good chance of that being the case anyway. They continuously have the standings up for this. Still join in now. Wait for the thing to put something in stream. Stream link. Ouch. There's Alu's, so I assume Alu's in a horse yet. Why is he still in a Red Bull? I was about to say, I could not imagine Stell being able to drive a Red Bull. There you go, he's changed to Williams now. Shouldn't be that far away from starting now. They offered a headache around China. Can imagine it is when it's on its realistic performance. This Alfa Romeo would probably be a little bit off the pace. I need to go and find out if this is where we need to be. It is. Just the league's streamlink thing is awfully bad for some reason. Yeah, here we go. We're about to go for second to last race on the season. I want to go into a different thing. I just want to keep my phone on the sprint standings. Be able to continuously do the math throughout the night. Hello, Aman. Give me a minute. I've trying to see if the stream link has gone off yet. Oh, it's raining in China. Okay, fair enough. So this could get interesting. The two horses are the one we're focusing on today. The only ones. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. A little bit tired, but I'm doing fine. Not been getting a lot of sleep recently. It's also annoying me the fact that this hasn't sorted itself out. But here we go. We're gonna so Stell's out. Stell's got a qualifying ban, I assume. Alu versus Joe. Alu's got to outscore Joe by 17 to win the title. Well, 18 to definitely win the title. You've got count back to go on if it's 17. Not the don't have the most knowledge on how the sprint things work, so I've got the rules up as well to assist me through this, but it looked like 9th and 10th at the moment for Joe and Alu. These two fight for a title. Alu gets in front. Alu and Joe just going to be around the same place to start, which is not good news for Alu. Major in the Mercedes is doing quite a good job at the moment. Oh, Alu looked like it was a little bit out of sorts there into the end, into the middle of the second sector, and now into the third sector. It's his hardest car on course. It's much harder when it's absolutely banging it down. It still looks like Alu and Joe are going back and forth. When currently on first. So Ferrari looks to have a little bit of pace here in the rain. Sven seems to be having quite a lot of fun. Two harassers at the moment, 6th and 8th. It looks like Alu's going to have the better of this. So Sven goes on pole here in China. Tonac got disqualified, and it's a 44.979. That puts Sven on pole. Major 45.484. Then you've got Boomer and Jack, both in the AlphaTauris, doing almost identical times. And everyone's dropped to the 46s after that. O'Leary on 46.3, and then you've got Alu ahead of Joe in this. Well, that's the stream link. Only an entire qualifying afterwards. So fine. But as it stands, 6th and 7th. Alu needs to outscore Joe by 18 points. So that's not going to do it. He's got this race and then Jeddah later on to do it. Also, Constructors up to the grabs. I believe that's like currently 15 points. Oh no, it's 46, sorry. Actually, no, not even up for grabs, I don't think. No, it is, but it's requiring a lot of fortune here for Alu, and Joe needs to be taken out at least once with an Alu win, just to give him enough of a shot for the next one. But yeah, the actual drivers is probably what we're looking at here. Currently 15. Is it 15? Yeah, it is 15, sorry. Things look different for me because the graphic that I've got to look at is pixelated to hell. Here we go, we got 5 red lights, and it's lights out, away we go. Who's got the better start here? Looks like Jack has just lost a couple of positions. They've been swallowed up by the horses, and well, looks like an Alfa Romeo back there as well. The spun Alfa Romeo. Luke's out. What on earth has happened in turn 1 of the McLaren off the track? There's a Red Bull off the track as well. Everybody did not enjoy that first corner. Yellow flags flying about everywhere. Looks like the only casualty we actually have there was Luke in the Aston Martin. A bunch of people got turned around. A few people on the medium tyres, a few people on the softs. People have obviously free tyre choice. The yellow flag's going there for A. Williams. It looks like Stell just had a little bit of a mess. Adam and Reaper going at it. We'll see, keep an eye out as much as we can on everyone through the grid. The yellow flag in sector 2. Twanak a little bit wide. Through the beginning of sector 3, it's Bloodwave that is not having the greatest of time in the Williams back there. It's causing all this yellow flags. Oh! There's an Alfa Romeo, he's gone. He has gone. Alfa Romeo is in the wall. Yeah, there's no front wing on that Alfa Romeo anymore. We got yellow flag in sector 3, but Alu and Jack are fighting. Alu's on! Alu span! Alu has span! Oh, and there's a horse going on through. He's got overtaken by both McLarens and a Red Bull as well. And he's lost quite a number of positions. Reaper's gone into the pit after the turn 1 incident. I assume the other two will as well, are behind him. Twanak and Jack going at it through turn 3. And there's a spinning... Oh, there's an AlphaTauri in the wall, and Twanak. It looked like Twanak got all out of sorts there, and Jack has just dropped quite a lot of positions. His front wing has definitely been damaged. Yep, he's got damage to the front wing, and all of a sudden, it's a position back for Alu, but... Whilst it's... his spin has just swung the championship majorly in Joe's favour. Stell overtakes Jack after Jack's incident. A lot of incidents on one lap. Way too many. Probably the actual answer to that question. See if the two McLarens are going to go at each other anytime soon. Swen about 3/10 of a second. Swen goes down the straight. It just doesn't look like he's pulling enough of a gap, pulling in the time there to go into the second to last corner of the lap. The yellow flag. Tier 2 for... Yeah, no, you're fine. You're right with that. I think that's Bloodwave gone again. It is Bloodwave gone again. And the McLarens are going at each other. O'Leary is ghosted for some reason. I'm not actually sure why. I'm assuming that's an internet problem. Bloodwave's got 10 seconds for exceeding track limits. And the DRS now enabled. Jay O'Leary, sorry, is he still... Hello, Donny. Is he still ghosted? No, I can't tell. Doesn't look like he is anymore. Guess I'll wait and see until someone comes near. Mike is currently in 9th, and he's outside the Swen, the only one with DRS, and the guy in front of him. The guy turns out to be Alu, who's now got DRS on O'Leary. He tries to get... He might have... That might have been... I might have just missed that. I don't know. Major in the Mercedes currently leading the race. Oh, yeah. No, you're right, Ahmed. No, you're right. Jack's gone on too hard, so he's going to the end now. You've got Swen about 4 tenths. You've got Alu closing in the gap on O'Leary, and Mike closing in the gap on Alu as well in the Red Bull. It's not too surprising, and Alu moves up into 7th. He's not allowing Joe to extend the gap that much, and Swen with DRS into the second to last is going to get that position. And it looked like Major has not been able to do an awful lot in terms of fighting back. I would also like for my timing sheet to come back to me, please. Thank you. It looked like 25 seconds behind Boomer, and everyone's slowly dropping off the back of the person in front. That Haas currently leading Mike and O'Leary into lap number 4. Mike only 3 tenths of a second back, but he's dropped off a little bit. As yellow flag in sector 2. It's Bloodwave again, I think. It is. It is. Bloodwave is now a lap back. It feels strange to be watching, not racing. You get used to it. You do get used to it. Boomer's not that far off the back of Major. It's only half a second at the moment. Boomer and the AlphaTauri. Pace difference on that Mercedes probably leveled out by the skill gap. 6 tenths of a second, so you're going to see the rear wing open on this AlphaTauri about now. He might be able to close enough of a gap. Mike has span. Mike has dropped to 10th, and there goes Boomer, and he goes really, really wide, way too deep into the corner, and he's going to allow for Major to take the position back without having to do much of anything, as Major now comes into the pits. And should see more of that happening all of a sudden. O'Leary 6 tenths of a second behind Alu. Obviously, the ones we're focusing on more is Alu and Joe. Joe currently in 4th. Alu will be in 6th to the moment. O'Leary closing in, but DRS is not able to help him enough to get past. And still gets past Major while he's gone in for his pit. Few guys going to the end. Millsy, Bloodwave, Jack, Major, probably the 4 that I would know of. Reaper might be pushing it. But I think it was more of a 2-stop as soon as he went in lap 1. You feel like you would have won this race if you had raced. What would you have raced in, Donny? I'm not really sure what you would have raced in. The only one we've got within DRS is O'Leary on Alu's. Sauce might be starting to fade off a little bit by this point. And yes, I do remember when I commentated Tier 3 China race, which was an absolute catastrophe. You would have been in Ferrari. Yeah, you would have beaten Swan. I'm confident in that. If you could have kept out of the wall, that is. Here comes DRS for O'Leary, and it's going to go onto the rear wing of the cars, and Swen's coming to pit. Alu's going to close it off. O'Leary's just going to have to settle being behind Alu, as Alu's going to take the inside line and keep the position as well. Boomer and Swen both come. Boomer and Swen both come into the pits. Alu's obviously staying out. I think O'Leary's coming in as well. Yep, O'Leary is. You and the Wald are friends now. I'm not sure about that. Major obviously getting a couple of positions back here. It's other people coming to pits as he did the lap prior. By the looks of it, Swen's jumped him though. Well, Swen's jumped him by a mile now. Swen was in front before, but he's got a gap and a half to him now, nearly 2.5 seconds. And there's a couple of guys here within DRS now. Swen and Boomer are currently in. The yellow flag in sector 1 for a Mercedes, and it's Reaper that's in the grass at the very least. I'm not sure if he hit the wall. He's certainly caught the yellow flag. Sven not able to catch up with Stell at the moment. The pit lane for... Oh, Alu span! Alu span there. I didn't even realise that the horse had gone off, but Alu has span and dropped a few positions there. And it's Sven now with DRS on Stell, and Sven's going to go through. And it looked like Boomer's gone through on Alu as well. And Reaper gets 3 seconds there for track limits. Twanak's come in for his pit stop, which means for the moment in time, Joe leads the race. Boomer's going to get a warning for that. Not sure Joe is anywhere near. For every spin I take a shot. You would be drunk already. You'd be drunk already. It's that many spins. But to be fair, if that would be a fun game to do for Jeddah next. If China's this bad, I would imagine that Jeddah would be even worse. Jack gets 3 seconds worth of penalties for track limits. Seems like he's having a fun time. Blood alone would have you head into the ICU. You might be right. Honestly, the amount of times, especially toward the back, the guy at the back has spun way too many times. Alu's done a couple. Even though he's not toward the back, he's currently sat in 7th, but he's got a pit. Come out around O'Leary. Maybe Mike. Depends on how long you lose in a pit stop here. Sven with DRS. You're going to have to go on Noof, on the camera angle for Noof. I have no idea. Donny, DRS for Sven here. Is he going to be able to do anything? No, McLaren holds on. It broke literally just the entire way. Sven's not going to be entirely happy with that. Boomer and Major going to go side by side, but Boomer's going to have him. Yellow flag in sector 3. It's Mike. Mike has span. Mike has span. And Mike is going to drop third from the back of people who are actually still in the race. Noof is currently in third. He's going to have to pit though. Boomer and Major on the back of Stell now. Donnie, I would find a way to take the piss out of you anyway, because you'll end up in a wall within like 4 laps. Jack gets another 3 seconds tacked on for track limits. As the AlphaTauri now fighting the Williams, but he's going to have to hold off the Mercedes behind him. As these three are right beside each other now, right on the back of each other, and they're heading towards Noof. McLaren currently sat in third. Stell and Noof are going to have to pit again. Well, not pit again, but have their pit stop, sorry. Yellow flag is sector 1. There's a Red Bull there again. It's Mike again. Staver is worse than you, Donny. Well, that's not a high bar. Here we go, the DRS. Is Boomer going to be able to do anything here? No. Boomer's not going to be able to do anything unless he goes down the inside, which he does! And Boomer has got down the inside there of Stell, and he looked like he's got Noof as well. Mike gets 3 seconds on top of his multiple spins. And Boomer has just done an incredible job there on Stell. And he's going to have the gap open to Major now, and Alu gets 3 seconds, which is not going to help his cause. As Joe still currently leads the race, he'd probably go one more. Boomer just... That was a move and a half there from Boomer. One hell of a move. You got Major, the yellow flag in sector 3 is Mike again. The Red Bull is not having a fun time. He's doing decent for quite a while, and then just can't seem to keep himself out the grass now and out the walls. And it's the Mercedes now looking at the Williams. As Boomer seems to be opening a gap. Whether or not he's going to be able to get anywhere near Sven is a different question. I don't think he is. He's going to get either. There you go. That's the move we were expecting there from the Mercedes on the Williams. The yellow flag again. I'm not sure who it is. It might be Mike again. Not sure who the yellow flag was because I was seeing the YouTube comments over the top of it, and Major just about able to hold off Stell there. And it looked like Joe has come into the pits for his stop. So Swen is now in the lead. What the? That was a flying Williams in the background there. There's your there's your top three again. Yellow flag in sector 1 is Mike once again. Twanak moved up to 4th, so Twanak is actually in 4th. What's Ed O'Leary? Where's O'Leary coming out? O'Leary coming down the straight now. There's Joe at the end of the straight. Joe is going to come out in front of O'Leary. And that means he's well in front of Alu. Stell currently in 7th on his soft tyres. New forever behind Stell as well. And then Alu 4.5 seconds. And Bloodwave is an entire lap back. There's Stell there. Going for his Williams compatriot for the day. Who's not enjoyed himself here whatsoever. Noof currently half a second back on Stell. These two are the only one within DRS range. And as it stands, there's going to be a decent jump there for Joe. And get 31, I think it is, for a maybe 32 for a weekend. Well, not for a weekend, for a particular race, sorry. And now there's no one in DRS. We don't talk about that, Donnie. We don't talk about that yet. There you go, Noof's back within DRS range, but too late for DRS. Goes down the straight with the slipstream, is going to bring him back closer to Stell, but that corner was not particularly great on the apex. And Noof is just going to lose quite a lot of time there again, and goes extremely wide to go to add to it, but gets DRS here as the McLaren's going to charge down the Williams, but he's not going to do it by enough. And it looked like Bloodwave has retired from the session, which is kind of fair at this point. He's had an absolutely torrid day. And it's 4 seconds now between Swen and Boomer when we don't look at the yellow flag in sector 1. It's just Bloodwave's car coming back out because this game's useless and we'll retire them in the pits. And it looks like Noof is just not able to do an awful lot here. It's one of the best cars on this track. I mean, you could be right about that. I mean, that would indicate why Sven would be winning. He is quite a decent car for his talent level. No one within DRS at the moment. Major's 1.9 seconds off Boomer. This is the closest battle we have as Stell is closing in on O'Leary, who has Joe in front of him for 3.5 seconds up the road. Alu not able to catch up to Noof here in the McLaren. And that's Mike going off the track at turn 3 and then again at turn 4. And it should be curtains for Mike now as well. Noof is now within DRS there on Stell, and this race is just meandering along with 2 laps to go. And there's not a lot that can happen here now. Everyone seems to be too far away to make anything. Why is Jamaica so hot? It's burning all the stupid. Fair enough. Fair enough. Mike's just all over the place. I just saw Mike there. Rejoining the track. Mike is just cutting every corner in existence. There's track limits exist, Mike. What are you doing? Stell is closing in there on O'Leary, 2 and a bit laps to go. What is Mike doing? 3 second time penalty for corner cutting. Is this just how many penalties you can get without being thing here? Mike's span, and O'Leary has been passed here by Stell. And can Noof try and make something work here? Or is he too far back? Does he even have DRS? No, he doesn't. Might get DRS on his McLaren counterpart for the night. If he can hurry up a little bit, I think he's just passed DRS. Oh, that's a spinning McLaren. O'Leary is saved it from going in the wall, though. Which I was kind of surprised. The last time I saw anyone spin at that corner, it's with the Aston Martins in Tier 3. But yellow flag is take to free because Mike again. It's 1 minute 22 off the back of Reaper. Never mind anyone else at this point. We've got no one realistically within shot of an overtake here. Swen just out on his own. The front three in the middle of his own at the moment. And everyone is just way a lot separated. So it's 15 points. Let's take a look at where we are on the standings. So it's 15 points before this race. Joe is in 5th, which gives him 17. Alu is in 8th, which is only a 4-point swing, which would make it 19 going into Jeddah. A DNF would be nightmarish here for Joe. Alu is going to end ahead of O'Leary by the looks of it. With about 3.9 seconds of a gap, 4 seconds of a gap now, and we'll continue watching Swen as he is going to stroll home at this point. Jack 6 seconds, not going to count for anything. No, the 9 will though. And as for the constructors, that's now dead. I think Joe and Ross has just taken that one home after this race. Can't get more than 30 points, like 32 points in a weekend, so you need to outscore by 14 in just this race alone. But here comes Swen, down to the straight for the final time. Got a couple of corners to go after this. You go down the long back straight at China for the final time today. On lap 14, 2.5 seconds ahead of Bouma, whose tyres are basically just coming in just a bit too late. And it looks like round the final corner, unless he spins, Swen is going to win in China, and Swen does win in China. Bouma comes over in second. Major in the Mercedes, generally lacking pace, comes over in third. 1.8 seconds in the end between Swen and Bouma. Even though Swen just decided to warm his tyre at the end, basically. And then the Twanak over the line, going to take 4th. And here comes the soft runners now as Joe is going to come over the line in 5th. Which opens the gap between him and Alu. And Stell comes over in 6th. Noof comes over in 7th. Alu is definitely going to come over in 8th now. And the gap there is 19. As O'Leary is in 9th, Jack's going to come over in 10th. Like Adam's come quite the way back. Oh no, Adam is going to beat him by less than half a second. So Adam's going to come in 10th. Jack's going to come in 11th. And Reaper is the last one we wait on here. And that is the end of the first race here. The final week of sprint. And there are some people who had a absolutely tragic race. people like Bloodwave are going to be wanting that one back, considering that might be the worst race I've seen him do. But Swen's going to take the first race. We're going to Jeddah. Just with Jeddah standing in the way of Joe and a sprint championship. Yeah, I was about to say, it's definitely 19. What's the point difference? It's 19 with one race to go. He outscored him by 4 points there. Joe ended 5th, Alu ended 8th. $30 points for a winner, so it's definitely not done yet. Definitely not done yet. Couple of it's Saudi Arabia is it's a lot likely somebody just dies and ends up dying here. Definitely can swing the other way, but I'm pretty sure that's Constructors done. We're gonna wait. Who won the race? Swen. Swen in the Ferrari won by quite the distance. What happened? What happened in the England game? Oh, fucking course it is. Oh, of course it's 1-0 Hungary. Oh, of course. I don't want to put it on. I'm not putting it on. I even see Swen and Twan. Oh yeah, it's 46 there as well. So it's 11. Ooh, Swen and Twan for the Constructors then. Well then. So Joe had an 11-point gap going into the Constructors in the last one. He's on his own against Swen and Twan. And as for the drivers, it's 19 points with Saudi Arabia left on the calendar. Going at 22. You've got 5 minutes to about 5 minutes before we go for this one, everything's decided. What's this doing? Bordeaux. Oh, we're not going back to France. We're not going back to France. We're not going back to France. Oh, damn. Well then. Yeah, I don't think I'm going back to France. And I've had a football manager save at all. Until PSG are a little less overpowered. Just slightly less. Especially if it's anything like the one. And this football manager anyway. So it's 13 laps around Saudi Arabia. The last race of the championship. Joe versus Twan and Swen, and then Joe versus Alu. So that's the two battles we're looking at. But got a couple of minutes to wait for. I need to get back onto the standings that way. Should be everybody starting to ready up for a minute there. But if China was that bad for spins, I hate to see what this track's going to be like. Honestly, at this rate, I'm going to need to take your advice, Arman, and play a shot for every spin. Because I feel like there's going to be quite thing here. I'm going to drink before we start again. Was it even a good goal, the Hungary one, Darren, at the very least? Well then. Here we go. Saudi Arabia, the last race of the sprint season. Alu currently 19 points back on Joe for the championship. And you've got a 11-point advantage for Joe in the constructors at the moment. Joe against Swen and Twanak, who Swen won the first one. Also, I very much doubt I'm going to be in tier 1, by the way, for when it comes to new game comes around. Alright, so here we go. Last race of the season. Joe versus Alu, Joe versus Swen and Twanak. That stands Swen's currently 2nd, Twanak 8th, Joe 9th, Alu 13th. Going through the first sector here at Saudi Arabia. And it's not too bad for the Haas. Looked incredibly nice if you're in a Mercedes right about now, though. Well, Williams is having a bit of fun as well, 4th and 5th at the moment. Bloodwave actually trying to make amends for his China race, and it looked like Joe just smacked against the wall. He's not lost an awful lot of time, but it's going to knock him down a couple of places. Seems to have a little less control of the car than he did round China. You've got Alu up to 11th now, Twanak down to 13th. So Twanak's obviously had a little bit of a problem. Mike's retired from qualifying. You've got Boomer up to 2nd now, Reaper currently in 1st. Joe drops to 9th. Swen up to 4th. Swen all the way up to 2nd, back down to 4th, and Reaper in the Mercedes. We're going to have a Mercedes front row here. We aren't going to have a Mercedes front row because Boomer's on pole. Okay, fair enough. Boomer's come from out of nowhere to get pole at the end there. He's got a Mercedes 2-3. Boomer's got it by 0.03 there on pole, and then Reaper's 2nd, Admin 1-2, and you've got Major's 3rd, Stealth 4th, Swen's 5th, Jack's 6th, Holdway 7th, Joe is in 8th, Alu's 11th, Twanak got disqualified. So, Joe, not good enough at the moment, I don't think. It's 4 points there, as Twanak got more than 7 in the thing if he was to end 13th. He would. It would be if it was to end as it did in qualifying, Swen and Twanak would win by a single point. Boomer just laughing badly at that. Oh, I am very, very surprised that Boomer managed to get pole at the end there. About to go lights out. Here we go, we got the AlphaTauri followed by the 2 Mercedes. Who's going to get the better start? It's 5 red lights, it's lights out, away we go! Who's going to get a better start here? It looks like the AlphaTauri is going to get the better start, and Reaper is in 2nd. There's a few people that's all over the place here. Joe's up to 7th, there's a Williams there that looked out of sorts. Doesn't look like anybody has actually crashed there. Alu down to 12th though. As Mike goes past, and Mercedes is all over the place. As the Mercedes are going to fight, and Stell, the yellow flag, it's Stell that has hit the back of the grid. He has crashed. He's not out of the race though. And the 2 Mercedes, it looked like there was a little bit of a clip there, and Major trying to shut the door on Reaper. Swen currently in 4th, and Joe in 6th. Twanak up to 11th. As Hibbs and Mike is going to go at it. And Mike goes side by side into this chicane, and Mike looks like he's going to have it. Well, they're going to keep going. Side by side once again. Mike is not going to have the position. This time Twanak's going to go through and is into 10th. 4 people just side by side going onto the rear of each other, sorry, through into what would be the second to last. And Bloodwave looks to have got past Joe, and he looks to go side by side with Mildy, and he's been spun! Oh, Bloodwave's been spun! And it looks like a couple of people have gone past. Jack lost a couple of positions there by almost getting collected, or would have definitely got collected if it wasn't for Bloodwave ghosting. And you've got Joe up to 6th, as he's currently 2 places behind Swen. Ferrari about 2.5, nearly 3 seconds up the road. And Twanak up to 9th because of Bloodblade spin, as the two Williams are at the back of the grid at the moment. Followed by the two McLarens and a Haas of Alu, who really needs to get a move on. Mike's currently in 10th, so you would expect a spin coming from him at some point. Alu definitely needs to get something. Because at the moment, he needs to end what? He needs to win the race. Well, Joe comes outside of the top 10, and Joe's going to go down the inside there of Adam. It'll start to make Alu's job a lot harder as Joe moves up into 5th, and it's realistically looking like for the championship to swing, he's going to have to crash. And Jack down the outside. He's going to go down the outside. We're going to have a 3 wide through. Oh, we're not. It looked like Adam just shuts the door there, and Joe on the inside able to hold off for the minute, and it's 3 wide diff time, certainly, and Jack's going to get in front. DRS has now been enabled. It's 5 right on the back of each other here, and it looks like Joe's able to hold himself in 6th position. It's Twanak's about 1/10 of a second here on the Aston Martin, as they look to be fighting for the constructors, which also almost certain at this point that they've won it. Well, provided some things don't happen. Boomer and Reaper. Reaper's just gone a bit wide through the chicane there, and I think that's opened the door for Boomer to get a gap. And it's about 1/4 of a second now. Joe and Adam, as we're going to continue here for a minute. These two going through the chicane, final chicane of the day. Boomer's going to lose out on Reaper. Reaper goes into the lead. And it looks like Alu just gets past Mike as well. He's moved up to 10th. Just at the same time that Millsy had a go on Joe. He's not able to make it work. Here comes the Aston Martin as well. Adam's going to get in front, and Luke's going to get in front of Joe as well. And now it's Alu, the next one in line. Twanak gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, and Luke and Adam are going to go side by side. And the Mercedes in the wall is Reaper. Reaper is in the wall. There's a McLaren in the wall. All over the place, and Joe, there's 3 seconds there for Major. Joe is now right beside Alu. Stell and Bloodwave going at it. Those two moved up a couple of positions because of their pits and people smacking front wings, etc. Joe is not able to get past Adam. Gonna hold him off for a moment in time. Boomer now has a 1.5 second advantage in the lead. Major in 3rd, 1/2 a second back on Swen's 3-second penalty. It's all over the place here. There's already a couple of spins. Noof gets past Reaper. Reaper's front wing is giving him problems. Noof gets 3 seconds for the trouble as well. And it's about 4/10 of a second. Twanak and Mike 14th at the moment. Here comes the O'Leary on Alu, and O'Leary's going to get past, but Alu to the inside, and O'Leary's in the wall. Oh, Alu's going to move up into 8th. O'Leary's in a wall, he's gone way too wide. Swen's in the pits. Joe has got a long way to go, but as it stands, he's not really facing much resistance from anyone at the moment. Struggling to get past Adam, though, who's slowly but surely opening the gap between him and Joe, and him and Luke at roughly the same pace. It looked like there's McLaren's just gone very wide there, and he's going to allow the two Williams through. And Stell is going to go up to 8th. Yellow flag in sector 1. It's Mike. That is Mike, the yellow flag, and there's people all over there's people just in pockets of fighting at the moment. It's 2.8 seconds between Joe and Alu. Alu isn't even in a position to win, even if Joe was to crash out at the moment. Needs to end at the absolute least in fourth place. Sorry, Joe's going to get past Adam with the use of DRS, and Joe's moved up into 5th. And it looks like Alu has been overtaken there. And a few people come into pit. Boomer, Major, Joe. Alu and Stell stay out. Joe gets 5 seconds for a severe collision with Adam, and they go into the pits, and there's 5 seconds there. It's not going to be anywhere near enough of a penalty. The penalty's flying everywhere at the moment. Everyone's but Noof and the front 4 have pitted for their final pits of the race. Tonak currently in 12th, into 11th. He's into 11th. Here comes the Williams on the Haas, and Stell on the soft tyres is going to get past Alu, who's just losing out the more we go along. Everyone in the front, everyone but Swen and Boomer at the front have a penalty. Might be a lot of reshuffling when it comes to who's actually toward the front of the standings at the end of the race. Alu on the back of Stell, and you've got Boomer and Swen, 1 and 2 at the moment, right on the back of Alu, and DRS here for the Haas, and then following for the AlphaTauri, and then the Ferrari behind him as well. And now Jack's coming to the pits, and I think Luke and Stell might follow. No, Stell's gonna stay out. Okay, so Stell, the only soft runner left, and Mike has retired from the session. He is not in the pit lane. His safety car is on, and there's a problem. Alu has just had a collision there with Boomer. He's going to have a collision there with Sweat as well. There's a little bit of wheel banging though. Certainly no safety car on at this point. So Swen right behind Alu, and Noof and Bloodwave have pit. Joe Leary's going to go on through the stands. You've got Twanak in 9th, Joe in 8th. And Swen round the outside of Alu. Is he going to be able to hold it? He's going to try it. And then Williams there. Stell has lost his front wing entirely. Oh, Stell, that's a bad hit in the wall. They go round the banking. At turn 13. That's really bad. Swen not out of DRS range on Alu. He is not in the DRS of Boomer. So if we go into the final couple of corners here, he's going to get DRS. DRS looks to have opened. Look to have opened there for Major as well, as Major is going to try the move there on Alu's. Tatis made a major correction at the end there just to save his car from ending in a wall, and Swen with DRS is not enough to catch Boomer, as Boomer has 5 laps left to hold on from Swen, who is quite the way in front of Joe, and Joe does not have enough on Twanak, and I think the constructors might be heading Dutch. Stell had to pit at the end of the lap anyway, because his soft weren't going to last that long. He's got up to he's dropped all the way 12th in the process. It's a half temp. It's half a second, sorry, between Swen and Boomer. It stands 15 to 25, so it wouldn't be enough, but Twanak would need to pick up 2 points, which I'm pretty sure just finishing would do. Adam 4 tenths of a second behind Twanak. Might be able to drop Twanak a little bit back. But, Alu is not able to do anything against Joe for the championship here. We continue on who's fighting. Mike's left the session. Boomer is going to hold on for the slightest bit of time. If Boomer was going to get past, well, he's going to have to hope he doesn't get past here, because probably should have just let Sven go on the last straight if he was going to get past there. But Boomer's going to fight straight back. He's going to fight straight back. Is he going to have the position? No, Sven's going to get in front. Sven has got in front. They've got half a lap now till DRS is going to kick in. Whether or not Boomer can hold himself close enough to make use of that DRS in a lap or so's time. You've got Twanak and Millsy fighting. It looks like Twanak is going to hold P8 at the moment. Yep, he definitely is going into the tighter parts of sector 1. Boomer not able to use DRS to get close enough into the turn 13 banking, and then Boomer about 4 tenths of a second back on Sven. They're gonna get DRS without anything unfortunate happening here. Boomer should have the patience, should know that he has to wait here. Major with the flying Mercedes basically there in third. Boomer has to wait, but he can't afford to wait. Get in front. It just handed Sven back DRS. I'm not sure that was a good idea. Then again, if they did the same thing in 4 laps time, I don't think Boomer would care. Sven with DRS down the straight is going to get back in front for certain. And there you go, Sven is not going to have the same sort of fight this time from Boomer, as Boomer actually is still going to try and fight him. It's about 1 tenth of a second. And Boomer's going through sector 1, sees the back of that Ferrari. He's been seeing it for the last couple of laps. Got to avoid a penalty. Major does have a penalty, so even if he does have a role to play here, he's not going to be a huge one. Going around the banking at turn 13 is not going to cause any overtakes there. Into the chicane we go. Middle of second sector, and nobody seems to be making mistakes apart from Major, who's a little bit off the pace going through that corner. Boomer, 10th of a second, maybe looking for something before DRS. He has got something before DRS. That one might work into his favour. Boomer's going to have DRS against him here. Sven's got any common sense, you don't overtake him through the straight. You just take advantage of the straight follow-in, but he's going to go for it now anyway. Boomer's going to have DRS going into the second straight here. It looks like Major is as well. Bloodwood gets 3 seconds. I think Reaper got 3 seconds as well. And Boomer with the DRS is just going to make quick work of that. Makes very quick work of that. And Major is going to have a shot now at Sven as well. Major gets past, then that could open the door majorly for Boomer. And Twanak loses out to Adam going down the main straight. Well, they're going down the main straight now. Actually, it was the straight before they lost out to Adam, and Twanak's going to get it back. Yep, he's going to get back into turn 1 with O'Leary on the back of them, so we might be in a similar position to the front 3 here. And there's not really much that's going to happen here. And Boomer, about 3/4 of a second. We've gone through the first of the DRS zones on lap 11. Boomer's been quicker through the second sector so far in this race, and into the third sector we go, where Boomer usually flies. He's going to have to get to that second mark for DRS to not be a factor here. He's not going to get to it. I think Sven might be too far back to make this set of DRS to may have any sort of influence. He is too far back, but he's not going to be too far back after this corner. Major is out of DRS altogether. Him in the Mercedes has just had a lackluster amount of pace. Here comes Sven, a half second back down the straight into lap 12 we go. Bouma is still quite far ahead. He's still about 0.3 of a second, even with the use of DRS. The real question is, Bouma held off too early. Oh, Mildy! Into the wall! Mildy into the wall. He's got all over the place. All over the place there. Twanak and O'Leary are going at it. Sven gets 3 seconds. Okay. Sven gets 3 seconds. It's not going to drop him any positions, but I think that might have just handed Bouma a win. Yellow flag in sector 3. The Mercedes. Adam and O'Leary. It looked like O'Leary's had an absolute nightmare of the first sector. And it looks like Adam and Twanak are going to fight for it. Reaper's retired from the session. You've got the Alpine on the inside there. He's going to take the advantage of the inside of the banking to get him back in front of Mildy. Up into 8th they go. We're going to keep this battle going, actually. As Mildy is right alongside Twanak now. As it looks like Mildy's going to have the position. He does have the position. It's 1.5 tenths. Twanak's going to back off. O'Leary is right behind. Twanak's going to force him into something here. Going down the straight. It looks like Bouma and the front 3 is not having a lot of work happening there. They've stayed where they are for the moment. And then in here, they've got O'Leary and Mildy fighting because Twanak's just quite off ahead now. And, Mildy is just going to have position because O'Leary is just overshot that corner by a mile. Major now 1/10 of a second behind Sven. As he has got to get a move done now. We're going to lap 13. If he wants to take the position off Sven, he has to make it work. He is not going to make it work. There's a track limit violation there for Stel. 0.7 of a second, 3/4 of a second now between Bouma and Sven. It's not going to matter though, even if Sven was able to make DRS work here. It's the penalty that's going to kill him. And over the line, round the final corner, sorry, and then over the line, down the straight we go. Joe gets 3 seconds, it's not going to matter. And Bouma is going to win in Saudi Arabia. Sven is going to come over in second, and Jack's going to be on the final step of the podium. Major's going to come over in 4th. You've got Luke here, basically riding his own race in 5th. And then as we see round the final corner comes your sprint champion. Joe has won the sprint race, sprint championship, sorry, to come in 7th here in Saudi Arabia. It's not enough. Alu did not break the 19-point gap, and Joe is your sprint champion. And I'm pretty sure with the fact that Sven came 2nd, Joe's down in 7th. Thinking itself is enough to gain the constructors for Sven and Twanak. Either way, that's without adding on Twanak's points in that race as well. So it is definitely done. Constructors heads to the Netherlands. However, the drivers is going to come to Britain. You've got Joe. Joe has won the Drivers' Championship there. He has done enough. Couple of people DNFing 13 finishes. And that's that. We didn't quite get the classic we got when Tier 1 came here in the actual season, but that was, well, championship for Sven and Twanak, and Joe win the all-important one. Alu did close the gap, but it's nowhere near enough. Yeah, he got 12 and 25, so it's 27 compared to a 7th place 14. Yeah, they've done it by 2. They have, yep, they've done it. Done it by 2. And with that, I think that comes the end of the sprint season. I think that was the last sprint race we've done for F1 2021. New game not that far away. There's obviously no point starting a new season until we get our hand on the new game. But yeah, with that, I was going to say well done for Joe on his championship. Well done Sven and Twanak for winning Constructors. But I think I'm going to call the stream there in a bit.